All right, guys. Welcome back to week three of the Discord channel weekly analysis. I know I rave about this. I know I'm going to go on for an hour rave, I guess. But the weekly analysis, it's just, I can't say this enough. So I'm probably going to say it every week. So please bear in mind, don't be disgusted. It's so important because I used to think that, okay, I trade on the lower time frame. I don't need to know the weekly analysis. That was the wrong way of thinking about trading. I was just trying to force the market into going my way instead of what the market was telling me to do. It also gives you patience to wait. So you'd be looking for analyzing the market, right? Expecting to do this and then reacting off that. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean reacting as we kind of know that's going to happen, all right? And we're just prepared to enter as we do with our strategy, right? So without knowing the weekly analysis, we can't actually, we shouldn't be able to pull the trigger on our entries because we don't know where the market's going ultimately. Where is the strength in the week? If you're buying in a selling weekly market, then you're in trouble, right? Now, I'm not saying you can't make money by making mistakes. You can, and I'm not saying you can't make money in the pullbacks. Of course, you can. But when you're learning, why go again the market? No call to, right? You just want to get the wins racked up, your consistency racked up, and as time goes on, the pullbacks just become another. Let's just say another line of income for you instead of just going with the market all the time. But right now, learning the weekly analysis, putting everything in your favor is so important. It's probably, as I say, it's the key way to start the week. As you can see, it's Monday. It's 7:05 New York time in the morning. It's 12:05 in the afternoon. London, Dublin, UK, Ireland time. I'm in no rush to launch into the market Monday morning because it's always got a wee bit of manipulation going on, usually. And you don't want to, if you're rushing into the market just to get on that computer to get a trade in, guys, you need to take note of that and realize that that's a want, the FOMO, the fear of missing out. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cough here. I might have to pause this for a couple of times. I do go into, um, excuse me. That's FOMO. It's fear of missing out. It's like I have to get a trade on. I don't do my Monday analysis. I don't really do my weekly analysis usually till Monday morning. If Sunday night I can do it and it's looking like it's making sense, then I will do it. All right. I just like the market to show me its hand, and this is what it's done on Monday, I believe. All right. And I'm going to recap this as quick as I can. So going back to this volume and balance we've been speaking about, even before the Discord group gets started with the OGs who was learning, this is what we aim for. This volume balance, and it's run up in that almost to the pip, a couple of pips in it. Give us a break here. And it's immediately reacted. And for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, we've been, in a downward momentum. And it's kind of got to a point where you might want to sit on the fence if you don't know what you're looking at. All right. And it is kind of, is it's going to use this order block to bust on, or, impulsive candle, vice versa, what's it going to do? But if we break this down from the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, even down to 15 minutes, it gives you a fair idea and the understanding of what the program does week in, week out almost, and it is a program or an algorithm. It just is. And I know I've said this so many times before too. Thank God it is, because then we can work it out. And we have worked it out. Now, having a closer look just at this section here. Last week I spoke about wanting the market to come through this sell side liquidity. Alright. And I'll point out the candles which I expected it to go down and start reaching in that if we broke that low. But right now on the weekly, I did expect this candle or I was expecting this candle to take out that sell side liquidity, so last week's candle, but it didn't. All right, but this candle is also between this candle and this candle has also told me a lot of what I need to know. Why? Let's just start on the upper side. This for value gap. We've given it's not up into 50%, right? I would like to see that come up in to 50%, so the mid range of that, and then start breaking down, but it hasn't. And we got a rejection out of it, closed in a bearish momentum. Now, this candle, all right, if we take this inverse fair value gap over here, and we'll pull it right through, just try and tidy this up a little. Bear with me. I'm not going to take too long a tidying up. It's just to give you a bit of a better idea of what I'm looking at here and what you should be looking at. This candle pushed through it and closed beyond it. All right, that's what it's me. That's what it done last week. For me, that now becomes like a resistance. All right, so as you can see this week, Sunday, Monday, it's opened up. It's pushed into the bottom end of that. All right, why? Because it opened up here, and there will be an imbalance from this opening of this week to the low of this candle. All right, so you can imagine almost like a fair value gap if you picture in your head. So from this candle's opening to this candle's low, we've come back and it's looking like it's filled what would be, the 50% range. Imagine from, just want to take this up for you. From this candle's low to this candle's opening, it's gone past the 50, and it's tapped the underside of this inverse fair value gap. And it looks like it's doing like a jitter swing. This is how I look at it. A jitter swing, and it's coming to close this imbalance a little. All right, lovely. Now, why still bearish? Why look for this sell side? Because there's a little imbalance down here. All right, a fair value gap down here that the market just just fell shy of. Right, so taken from this candle's low, it just didn't even tap into it yet. All right, so this is just closing price for me before rolling over. Okay, now it'd be nice to see the market come up, maybe close a bit out and start breaking down, taking out this sell side liquidity in these two candles, and at least coming into the 50% range of this imbalance. Now at that point, that's going to be me, I believe, kind of sitting on my hands, because that could just be a pullback. Fill in it's just a good way. It's a good spot to aim for first. To start the week, that tells you a little bit more. So it could be the pullback, and then we might see the market push on up. But that's not to say now. At that point, I will kind of be sitting on my hands, right? I will be, what's the word? Not waving the white flag, but I'm standing back. I'm letting the buyers or sellers or whatever's in the algorithm to battle it out. For if it continues to break down, especially if it breaks beyond this weekly volume bounce, then it's coming down to take out these lows, right? Maybe take a revisit into this, but it's coming down and take out these lows. Why? Because it'll possibly come down, use that as resistance, and push on through. But all you need is a one trade a week. One trade a week. So if I can get that one sell in there, which I believe is coming, then my week will be set, lovely. The rest of it's just a bonus. Now, leaving that inverse for value gap there, or inverse for value gap marked up. If I switch to the daily, this inverse for value gap lines up with this, what would have been a fair value gap until these candles closed below it. All right, especially this one. So we've come up in it, spiked into it once, twice, three times, touching the underside of it now again, and possibility of it rolling over because why the Judas swing, running people into buys here, moving up fast, taking out lower time frame buy side liquidity, and then I would start looking for a little breakdown. So the perfect case scenario for me is yes, come up, but I want to see signs of it starting to roll over. Maybe not making higher highs, starting to break the lows, and then I'm going to look to sell into this sell side liquidity. Plus, if you remember the weekly imbalance that lay down here, all right. This is why I like Mondays to play out, folks. Now, and as you can see, I know I've said it before, but look at them reactions out of that. All right. Now, I am fully aware of this. All right. So if it really does want to suck people in, there's a fair value gap up in here, right? Price and balance in this candle is low, this candle is high. And the pullback. I don't usually like to use the full wick. It's just beyond the 50. Usually I like to use 50% of the wick roughly. It could come up into this and then start breaking down. Why? Because there's a lot of buy side liquidity lays here. It doesn't want you making money, you or I making money. So it's a good place to note, right? But I don't actually want to see it close up in there because if if it does, like if it spikes up in and then gets rejected, fine. But if it closes beyond this inverse for a value gap, what does that become now? It acts almost like support again, instead of this resistance that you found with these candles. So if it comes up here and starts closing above that, I'd be very interested now to see a reaction into here because it could just start pushing up and maybe fill this imbalance up a little bit better. All right. Now I'm not going to go too longs until I see this candle's high broken and closed above. All right. Because that to me would be the true change of character on the higher time frame on the daily. Okay. So let's have a look on the 4 hour. Now just dicking this up a little, tightening it up. You can see how these candles have reacted up into. So once this got pushed through and closed, all right, we had one until it, two, three, four, great reaction, five, six, boom, down. All right, and it hadn't reached up into it yet, but it's still building up more sell side liquidity down here. That's all I see that as. I don't see that actually as support. Me, it just feels like it's just manufacturing its own sell side liquidity down here to later take out. Now, I don't really want to see this again, as I say. I don't mind a spike up in, right, because I know there's a little volume balance here. But I don't want to see it close beyond that because it's just a it's just going to act as support. Truthfully, that's what I feel it's going to do. So this is where you have to be patient, sit in your hands, let it do what it wants to do. You know, it's already spiked up and took out this buy side liquidity, right? So if I had to mark this out as buy side liquidity, we've already had that little chase on buy side liquidity. There's these equal highs here. It could reach in for them and then start rolling over again. But let's look at it in a moment. Let's analyze a little bit closer. Now, from this point on, this fair value gap up in here, as you can see, it reacted, immediately came down, spiked up into this 4 hour inverse for value gap, broke down, tried to run up again, all right, and I'm sure we can see it on lower time frames. There'll be a fair value gap here, broke down, run up into this 1 hour fair value gap, broke down. Now what's it doing? Look how this candle has reacted into that inverse fair value gap. It's finding momentum from it. All right. Be aware of stuff like that. But there's no change of character here yet, guys. And just sitting back, let's just clear this up. How disgusting does that look? Right? Why would people be wanting to trade in that? It's messy, right? That's the 4 hour. It just doesn't. It's just bleh. Like, you know what I mean. There's no real nothing clean there. You know, nothing like, oh, there's definitely fair value gap. You know, there's inverse one here, but there's nothing really that makes you want to get into the market. Right? Just to say, patience comes about in this. Let it do that, like head hunting for a bit. Like as you can see over here, right? Buy side, took out sell side, came back up, took out buy side, came down, took out sell side, came up, took out buy side, came down, took out sell side. It's just head hunting there before it wanted to move, right? Monday morning manipulation, right? And this guys is looking like a nice order block, right? But pull it right through the original move, the true breakdown was this order block over here. The last upward candle before it really took off with any strength. And that's the one that broke this swing low. It made a new swing low. So right now I'm sitting on the fence, right? Don't be afraid to sit in the fence. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to let the market sit and play out a little. If people want to act like this big ego, I know exactly where it's going right now. I know where it's going overall, right? But I'm not going to jump in and just start selling now till that's a sure sign, right? Because guess what? Sometimes we just get it wrong. That's simple as that. We just get it wrong sometimes. So the way to stop yourself from getting it wrong so many times, but imagine starting Monday off, right? Look at it this way. And by the way, this is a nice order block also. I just want to mark that out for you. Imagine starting your Monday off rushing into trades and you still don't know the real direction of the market and you're down 1 or 2% starting off your week. That can exhaust you, and this is the psychological side of it, right? That can mentally exhaust you. Truthfully, it can. It can mentally exhaust you because that's you already burnt out for the week now. Now it's a fight to get back into the market, to claw back what you lost. There's there's a let's say there's a tank of energy, not just in your body, but also in your mind that you can only handle so much during the week. And if you starting your week off badly, knowing that you should just let things play out. And guys, the rest of the week is an upward battle. It truly is. Now I'm not saying get disheartened if you have. It's a lesson you just learn over time. And it doesn't mean you can't get back. Right? It just means you could be 1 or 2% up instead of trying to go 1 or 2% to break even. Do you know what I mean? Then you need, 3 or 4% to go into profits. Does that make sense? Nicely. There's highs up here, by the way. I'm just looking at the lower time frame. And I don't usually go down in the lower time frame in this, but these are things you want to look at. Is it going to attack this buy side liquidity? So I'm going to leave it that, folks. To recap, I'm going to let the market play out. I'm going to see this pullback. Is it? I'm always slow getting this zoomed in, aren't I? What's it going to use this inverse for value gap? We're going to see the market push up on the daily and close beyond that. Is it just coming back up to close this price imbalance from when it opened? I'd be interested to see if it reaches up into this, so the lower end of Monday's, or yes, the lower end of not last week, but the previous week's candle. Is it going up to touch that and then roll over? Is this just a wee move just to suck in buyers? Or is this actually the move that's going to take out this buy side liquidity? For me, this is just too close for comfort right now for it not to take that out and at least come into 50% of volume balance, right? So sit in your hands this morning, practice, watch the market, see what it's going to do. All right? Don't make it do what you want it to do. That's not how it works. All right? I'm just tidying this up a little. Don't try and force the market into doing what you want it to do. All right? Let it tell you what it's going to do. And from analyzing the market from that Monday morning or Sunday night, whichever you prefer. Whenever you've that planned out in your head, this is what it usually does. This is the volume imbalance that might close in when it opens up the wick. This is where strength, gathered up to make the markets go bearish or bullish. And then use your strategy for enter. All right. So let's let Monday play out. It's obviously taking out the Asia high. It's moving straight up. Let's see what it wants to do. We're going to get a wee breakdown later on today. Is it going to immediately start attacking us? Let's see. All right. So I hope that helps, folks. This is what you want to do every day, every week. Your weekly analysis done Monday. Start doing your daily analysis Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. So thanks, guys. Here's to an absolutely ripper of a week. Nice and calm. Oh, yeah, hold on. Sorry. Let's see what's in the news this week, all right? Tomorrow, existing home phase. Let's see what's like this week. PMI, all right? Worth watching. Oil, bit of an effect. Initial jobs claims, an effect. On Friday, Powell speaks. So he's the chairman of Fed. All right. Federation Reserve Bank. And that's to say, Friday for me, that won't interest me. I'll be long gone at that time. It'll be cheerio. All right. So Thursday's the one I probably watch out for. The PMI on Wednesday's the one I'll watch out for also. All right, guys. So note that down. You want to be looking at your economical calendar at all times. And let's see what the market's going to give us this week. Overall, I'm looking to take out these lows. Right? Because that weekly volume bounce line there also. Just swing open up. Let's see if it'll roll over. Sit in your hands. Let's see. All right. Take care, folks. We have a lot to go on this week, and hopefully some live trading tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I think from 7 o'clock. It'll be on the events end. Keep note of it, and let's see. Let's see if we can get a couple of good trades on this week. Right now, indecisive, kind of messy. The 4 hours just disgusting. Just don't like it at all. Especially that section there. Let's move on. This section here, just stinking. All right. So why would I trade now? Why should you trade now? All right. Take care, folks, and I will chat to you later on.